Ford High School Weekly is brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Oklahoma. And by Billy Sims Barbecue. It's not just barbecue, it's Boomer Q.
Welcome to Ford High School Weekly. I'm your host, Deion Imade. On this week's episode, football season is back once again, and don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we took the show on the road. We're here at the Bixby Fall Classic to check out the action and talk with some of the players and coaches. Standing here with Micah T Washington's Micah T's. Micah, how'd the scrimmage go, man?
It went pretty good. Overall, I feel like from a whole day standpoint, we look pretty good. Still got some things to clean up. Of course, it's the first scrimmage of the season. First time going against another opponent. But overall, I think my guys, we fought. We had our downs, but we definitely bounced back.
So as far as the season and that outlook and things to get better on, what are you thinking this team needs to really improve on?
We got to start off fast. Got to start off fast and explosive, and we got to keep that tempo up, definitely.
So as far as you as an individual, what do you need to improve on to get this season started off right?
Definitely starting off fast with my team. Definitely keeping that momentum going, being more of a vocal leader, voicing my opinion, whenever I see something different on the field, definitely trying to be more vocal though, for sure.
So as far as aspects you were impressed by as far as your teammates and what their performance showed, what were you looking at most?
I was definitely looking for heart. We got a lot of young guys on our team. A lot of people we graduated, so it's a lot of people stepping up. And I definitely think our young guys, they showed up. Even though with all we were dealt with, all that was thrown at us, our guys, we still strong. We still strong, and we battle. So what are you looking forward to most with the season starting? Man, I'm excited for next week, man. Game one in Bentonville. I'm really just excited, first game, first game as a senior, but I'm excited to kick it off, definitely.
Well, good luck with your senior year, man.
Man, I appreciate it.
We're standing here with Coach Blankenship from the Broken Arrow School. How's the scrimmage today, Coach?
It was good. We got a lot of reps in. I appreciate the Bixby and Coach Montgomery putting this on, but we get a lot of reps in a round robin early before we do the half game, and then the half game's an awesome opportunity to make sure you've got everything ironed out on your sidelines, headsets, all this stuff. We try to make it as much a dress rehearsal as possible, so it was great.
What are you looking forward to most with the season?
To see the growth from last year. I mean, it's a program build, and we felt like we built some momentum last year in our culture, in our program, and I'm excited to see this group of guys get after it.
So is there any particular player or, unit that you were pretty impressed with the work they did today?
I thought our running backs really carried a load. We even had a little tempo going, and we're able to rotate three in there really well, and even got a fourth and fifth one in there at the end. And then our D-line, we had a couple new guys we wanted to fill in for a couple guys that are banged up, and I really thought they popped. It was impressive.
I see you got a couple of new additions to the staff. Is there any teams or units that you're pretty impressed by with the new guys?
Coach Whitfield is coaching our safeties. He's doing a heck of a job. He's really a guy that knows what he's talking about, and he's great with the kids, so I'm excited about him. Coach Lucero played for me at Adams State, and he's helping with our receivers, helping Coach Tracy Moore there. He's doing a great job as well.
What are the main things you guys need to improve on this before the season starts?
Just cleaning it up. We've got a better idea of who we are, as opposed to last year is kind of a search. So continue to sharpen up and clean it up.
Well, good luck in the rest of the season, Coach.
Thank you.
Standing here with Luke Has from the Bixby Spartans. Luke, how did you think the scrimmage went?
I think it went good. All of our guys got some good reps, and we really went out there, the first team and second team, we went out there and really just gave it our all and showed what we can do.
So as far as going from 6A2 to 6A1, do you think there's going to be any difference or any bigger challenge for the Bixby Spartans?
I'd say for sure there's going to be a difference, but no matter what, we're still going to prepare the same every week, no matter who we're playing, like any class. So, it's like our practice and stuff aren't going to change, but it's definitely going to be a change with the schools because the population and all that stuff.
So final question, you being your senior year, you got the scholarship to Arkansas, everything's kind of sold up. What individual goals do you have for yourself?
I want to try and stay on the field as much as possible. That's my goal.
So what is that, playing both ways, or is just finding ways to help the offense as much as you can?
Finding a way, or both ways, but finding ways to help out the offense with run game, pass game, all that stuff.
Good luck with the upcoming season, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back with more here on Ford High School Weekly. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. We're talking with coaches and players at the Bixby Fall Classic. Standing here with Coach Brown from Micah T Washington. Coach, how'd you think your boys did in the scrimmage today?
I thought, the first half it was not very good. It looked like we wasn't ready to go out there and practice and play. But I thought the second half, I thought the boys kind of came out and gave it a good job and all that. But we got a lot of corrections, We got a lot of young guys and some key spots, and we got a lot of position battles. And so we're going to take a look at this film, and we're going to make sure we get the best 11 on the field, offense, defense, and special teams.
So who impressed you out there today, though?
Obviously Mike. I thought Mike did an excellent job. And then the 7, Oates, our DN, I thought he did an excellent job as well. So I think those guys, without watching the film, just a snapshot right now, I thought those are 2 guys that stepped up and played.
As far as the season starting and everything going in the right way, what do you think about the team?
I think we're heading in the right direction, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, we just got a long way to go. But I think with Bixby being out of it, I think it's wide open. And so we have just as good a shot as anybody, but we got to get a lot better faster.
Before we go, how do you think your dad did?
Talk. How do you think I did? Say hello.
Very good, huh? Well, thank you, Coach. Good luck this season.
I appreciate you.
Standing here with Bixby quarterback Austin Havens. Austin, how do you think the scrimmage went today, man?
I think it went well. We definitely improved as a team. But now that we have game week coming up, we just got to focus on going 1-0.
So what's the difference between scrimmage preparation and game preparation?
I mean, you got to kind of treat it the same because then it just gives you extra look at what you can see in a game. But you just got to treat it the same way, so it's extra reps.
So as far as your targets that you're looking at, what do you need to improve on to get ready for game week and the rest of the season?
Just improve timing with receivers, still learning the playbook and the new plays that we put in for this week.
So is there anything that you looking forward to as far as putting those pads on and wearing the the blue, what's that?
Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue.
I'm excited for that first game. I've been looking forward to it for a while, but we just got to focus on going 1-0.
As far as playing your former team, I mean, what's that like? I know you can't tell me too much, but what's your mindset?
They've done their fair share of talking, but as a team, we just got to treat it like a regular game. It's just another game on the road to a state championship.
Well, good luck with all that, and good luck with reading that state championship, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Standing here with the head coach, Coach Montgomery for the Bixby Spartans. Coach, how'd you think the scrimmage went?
I thought it was good. We got a lot of good reps tonight, and especially some of our players that are competing for positions got work in, and I think we stayed healthy, which is a big thing this time of year. So pleased with it.
As far as any individual performer that you thought really stood out and made a real spot in your roster today?
Man, I hate to pinpoint any one guy. I thought we got some good work out of Blake Hogshooter, young sophomore. I thought he was really good in the varsity scrimmage. Our usual dudes, I felt like produced really well. Jersey Rob, Blue Kaz had an excellent touchdown reception. I could go on and on. We had some guys do really well.
Well, Coach, you're making the move up to 6A1 this year. What's your thoughts about it?
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't know that we've changed a whole lot about the way we prepare or our process. We just kind of adhere to that, and hopefully it works out.
First game versus Owasso next week. What do you need to improve on as a team to be ready to perform in that game?
Well, a lot of things. We'll look at the tape and see some of the details, but I think just some of the procedural stuff, getting guys on and off the field, having the right personnel, kicking game. First game, there's always some of that, protecting the football. So we got a lot of work to do, but we'll take a look at the tape and get into some of the specifics.
A lot of good quarterback play today. It seems like both of the guys did their thing out there. What was your thoughts of their performance?
Yeah, no, both of those guys did really well. Both of them have good skill sets. Both of them are competitors, and got a lot of good work out of a lot of guys.
Well, good luck with the upcoming season, Coach.
Thanks, Deion. Appreciate it.
Coming up next, we preview first week football with Prep Redzone's Michael Knight here on Ford High School Weekly. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. We got Michael Knight from Prep Redzone here to join us. Michael Knight, football season is back, man. Opening week is here. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I'm happy. This is the best time of the year. I mean, we've had 2 months straight of preview content on the website, and I'm so glad to actually talk about games that have happened instead of things that could happen, potentially could happen. We don't know. It's all preview stuff. Now let's just talk about ball, man. This is the best time of the year.
Yeah, but speaking of ball, I know this is the first week of real games, but last week we got a chance to see some scrimmages. There was scrimmages all over the state. Where was Prep Redzone at, and where did you get to participate and take place in some games?
Yeah, on Thursday we went over to the west side of the state to check out Carl Albert, our preseason #1 team in Class 5A. They looked the part once again. They have so much talent at all the different classes. I think that they're primed to make another Carl Albert run where they could rattle off a couple championships over the next few years. That's how good I think they are talent-wise. Heritage Hall was another top team there. They looked the part once again, a top 5 team in Class 3A. And then a couple schools from Lawton made the trip up. Lawton MacArthur, a good team out of Class 5A. They got to find a new running back, but I think they have it. They got a good, experienced quarterback back, a strong offensive line. They got to replace some things on defense, but I think they're going to be in the mix in 5A. And then a team that I was really impressed with was Lawton Eisenhower under first-year head coach Javon Harris, who played at OU, played high school ball at Lawton MacArthur. He's returning to Lawton to lead the Lawton Eisenhower program, and they were really impressive to me. I think that they could make some noise in Class 5A this year. As a surprise team, because they were really improved from what we saw from them last season.
So was there any particular player at that scrimmage that really kind of put everybody on notice that he was ready for the upcoming football season?
Yes, Heritage Hall quarterback Andy Bass. I had heard about this kid starting last year where he wasn't able to play last season because he transferred to Heritage Hall. He had to sit out the fall semester. Therefore, he wasn't able to be on the football team. And all I've heard about this kid is speed, speed, speed. I heard he's fast as could be. And I'm like, all right, I want to see it. I want to see it in person. I want to see how it translates. I know he's pretty good in track, but let's see him on the football field. And within, the first couple minutes of their mini game with Lawton Eisenhower, he had a designed run off to the right when immediately in a flash, he took it 45 yards to the house. So man, I was excited to see Andy Bass at quarterback for them, and he lived up to the hype. The kid is fast.
With Bass under center for Heritage Hall, I mean, in the past recent years, with everybody they've had, especially the wide receivers they've had over there, this has been a pass, happy offense. Do you think it's going to transition more to the style of the team and their quarterback and be predominantly run?
No, I think they'll still try to find a good balance between the two because they do have weapons at wide receiver still. Ori Walker, Jordan Harris, just to name a couple of guys that return from that wide receiver core. I know they don't have Gavin Freeman, but the Chargers did have other receivers besides Gavin last year, and they're back. So I think that, Bass, he does have some speed in his game, but he can throw the ball too. So I think that they're still going to be very balanced on offense. They have a really good running back in Faulkner, but he also doubles as a linebacker, so he'll kind of split his time there. So they're going to have a great rushing attack in that backfield, but they still have weapons at the receiver position, and we know this in this day and age, you have to be balanced on offense if you're going to make a run at a state championship, and I think that the Chargers, they have the potential to do that this fall.
They certainly do. Also, there are a number of other teams that have an opportunity to make a run at that gold ball. But as far as those classifications that you were a part, you did get to witness last week, who that wasn't there is going to be a team that you got to make sure you look out for inside of that classification.
In Class 3A, talking about Heritage Hall's top contenders, so to speak, with them, I think you start the conversation with Lincoln Christian. They're our preseason #1 team in Class 3A. And then right over there on the east side is Verdigris. They've been knocking on the door for the last couple of years. They have a very special senior class that is unlike any class that's come through Verdigris. And so they're a team that could end up contending in Class 3A. But when it comes to that class, the private schools just dominate, man. You have Lincoln, you have Heritage. Holland Hall is the 2-time defending champions. Metro Christian and Cassia Hall, they're both moving up from 2A. So Class 3A is going to be private school heavy, but Verdigris, Plainview, Berry Hill, teams like that have a chance to contend with some of those private school monsters. But when it comes down to it, I like Lincoln Christian, Heritage Hall, Verdigris. Those are the top 3 teams in that class, in my opinion.
Yeah, we got a lot more teams to talk about when we come back with Michael Knight here on Forward High School Weekly. We'll be right back as the show continues. Welcome back to Forward High School Weekly. Michael Knight's Prep Redzone Zone is here. So, Michael, we had an opportunity to talk about some of these lower classifications, the 4As and the 5As, but the 6A guys took part in some scrimmages as well last week. Who did you get an opportunity to go see?
Yeah, I was in Jinx on Friday to see the 2-time defending champs in 6A1, the Trojans. And, man, they pick up right where they left off. We knew that they were going to be talented on the offensive side of the ball coming in, but I wanted to see them defensively, to see how they look with some of their new names, especially in the front 7, and they looked the part. I mean, it's a long season, long way to go, but Jinx, when you talk about them, you have to start the conversation with Jaden Carroll, one of the best running backs in the state, had a fantastic junior season for them last year. I'll be interested to see how he does this fall. They got Edmond Santa Fe to open up the season, and he absolutely torched them last year, ran for almost 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Also there in Jinx was Stillwater, Choctaw, and Sand Springs in 6A2, and I think that those are 3 teams that are all in the top 6 when you talk about 6A2. And some of the top teams there. Obviously, Choctaw and Stillwater are among the top contenders. 6A2 is going to be really fun this year. I mean, the last couple of years it's been dominated by Bixby, but I think it's going to be really wide open.
One of the teams that I was very interested to hear about is the Stillwater Pioneers. You mentioned Gundy being under center for them and calling the plays and throwing the ball down the field. They said he has a new throwing motion. Is by your looks of things, was anything different? Did anything seem to look a little uneasy for him behind center for the Pioneers?
No, but I saw Gage a lot this offseason when he was playing 7-on-7 with Sooner 7, one of the top, the top 7-on-7 program during the offseason. So I saw Gage probably 5 or 6 weekends. So I'm used to seeing him throw the ball. And I've said this once, and I'll continue saying it when I talk about him as a quarterback. I think he probably throws the hardest ball in Oklahoma. I think he might be the strongest quarterback in this 2023 class. He can throw it a mile. He could throw it through a wall. And so I think that, when it comes to him and his throwing motion and whatever changes or tweaks that he's made, the dude can still sling it all over the field. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the state. And I think that offense, similar to what I said with Heritage Hall, they're going to be very balanced. They have a good quarterback in Gundy, but they have a really strong running game with Noah Roberts. He had a good performance on Friday as well. And then a good offensive line led by OSU commit Jacoby Sanders, in my opinion, the best offensive lineman in the 2023 class. So Stillwater has a really strong chance to be one of the better offenses in 6A2.
Certainly, and staying with that 6A2 district right there, I did get a chance to see the Muskogee team that you mentioned earlier on Friday at the Bixby Fall Classic. What would you say about them in detail?
I love their quarterback, Jamarian Ficklin. He's a 2025 guy, going to be a sophomore this fall. The first time I got to see him last year was actually at the Jinx preview in the scrimmages in August, and I was like, man, they got a freshman out here, and he's throwing it. He's a left-handed quarterback, and you mentioned the throwing motion. He's one of those quarterback, kind of the new age quarterbacks where you see it with Patrick Mahomes and some of the other guys where they don't have a set arm angle that they throw the ball. They can release it at so many different points and throw in so many different angles, and it helps him get the ball down the field. It helps him get it through defenses. And I think that he's one of the more underrated players in the state. He had a really good freshman season last year. I know they went 2-8, but if you look at their record, if you look at their games, they were competitive in a lot of them, and he was really a strong performer for them. So I really like Ficklin. They have some guys around him that are going to be juniors this fall. So like I said before, I think Muskogee has the chance to not only bounce back in a big way this year, but I think that they have a chance to contend in 6A2 over the next couple of seasons.
I can't argue with you on that, especially with a young sophomore quarterback. But before we get out of here, we always got to touch with a little bit of recruiting when Prep Redzone's in the building. So what do you got for us here on the recruiting front in Oklahoma?
The biggest story over the last couple of weeks in Oklahoma was Jacoby Johnson, the top prospect from Mustang, who's been essentially a top 10 prospect in our 2023 rankings since we started doing them. He committed to OU. It was the worst kept secret around the state. Everybody has known that he was kind of Norman bound for a while now, but at their big preview event a couple weeks ago, he announced that he was going to stay home and committed to OU. He's a unique athlete where he was a top 10 prospect in football as well as a top 10 prospect in basketball, but his future is on the gridiron with Brent Venables and OU on the defensive side of the ball, and now he can focus on his senior season being a standout at wide receiver and cornerback for Mustang, who could be a sleeper in 6A1. That's a good team that they bring back in Mustang. They surprised some people last year, made a run to the semifinals, so I'm interested to see what they do this fall. But Jacoby Johnson, without a doubt, one of the top prospects in the state, committed to OU. Good get for Coach Venables and the Sooners.
They come again. In blocking up front, Mason's got time. Receiver wide open. D'Angelo Mitchell, touchdown.
Go to yourview.com/OK for highlights. And check out our podcast and past episodes at yourview.com/OK. It's the 100th anniversary of the first game between Sand Springs and Sapulpa this year. Stay tuned for the Forward Game of the Week featuring American Heritage Bank Highway 97 rivalry with Mike Ziegenhorn and Rod Thompson. Kickoff comes up in just a few minutes.
Remember, guys, only the best in Oklahoma make the Forward High School Weekly, like our guys here at the Bixby Fall Classic. Well, until next time, thank you for watching, and I'm your host, Deion Imade.
Forward High School Weekly has been brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Oklahoma. And by Billy Sims Barbecue. It's not just barbecue, it's Boomer Q.